Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Afi and I'm back again with another video. So, welcome back. I know I've been gone for a bit. It's just been like one day or something. I've only missed doing a video on one day, but it's because I'm getting to this place where I'm like initially I just wanted to like post videos, which is cool, and I still want to really post videos and just make sure I'm doing as many as possible for as long as I feel like I really like to do this. But then you know you're going to I'm going to give you reasons about why I haven't done a video in a very long time in this video, so you're sort of going to understand my brain and what's happening. So if you're seeing a lot of movement, it's because I'm trying to do something different. I want to see if I can manage to do my nail polish as I'm doing this video. To be honest, I don't think I'll be able to do it. I may not be able to concentrate on both ends, even though I'm a master at multitasking. I don't think that's going to be a very good idea, but anyway, we'll see how that goes. So today's video is going to basically just be about me telling you guys about September, because as I've been doing for the past 2 months, I basically try to give you a bit of a rundown of the month for me, the things that of course you haven't been seeing because I only put out maybe 2 videos a week, and I mean, you really don't know anything about that. So I think this is going to be a nice series just to sort of get to know me. I don't know if I'm going to come up with new ideas for the next month, but we'll see. Yeah, so if you haven't checked those videos out, I'm going to link them down below. There's going to be 7 lessons I learned from July. Then there was an August update where I just talked about how stressful that month was, and this is my third month doing it, and this is September. So the month of September was such an interesting month. It was characterized by just a lot of, like, to be honest, I have so many videos during this month of September talking about how I've been in a bad mood, or just being like, oh, I'm not feeling good, or I'm not happy about this, I'm not happy about that. Like, literally, I feel like this is the month that I have done the most negative videos that I've ever done. So yeah, there's a reason for that. But it's September was just an interesting month. There was a lot going on, but not as much as August. If you haven't watched the August update, please make sure you watch it, because there's so much that I talk about in that video. I'm very proud of that video. But anyway, that's just shameless plug. But so September was just a month that I didn't have a lot going on, but there was just so much dragging me down this month. I feel like there was there was a lot of things happening, and the one thing that I noticed when I was just sitting down and trying to figure out, like, why am I feeling like this, why am I just feeling so hollow and empty, and why am I just feeling so bad, and like, of course I'm trying to be happy for everyone else, because you don't want to spread your negativity around. So of course when I'm having conversations with other people, I'm seeming very happy and very excited, and like, I'm genuinely excited to talk to them. But the thing is that there was so much happening internally during September, and the most of it was just the fact that I didn't know what was going on. Like, I was feeling something, but I didn't know why I was feeling it. I didn't know what, like, I just didn't know. So it was just a whole month of not knowing stuff. So the first thing I want to talk about is the hollowness that I felt during September. So I had a constant, like, pit in my stomach, but then I would have maybe a few good days, and then I'm back to having that pit in my stomach. And it was so bad because I remember that this September has been characterized more of having bad days than good days, and I really, really don't like that. I do not like feeling hollow and sad. I really, really like being happy and excited, and that's something that I am. But then this month was just full of just feeling sad, right? And when I think about it, it's like every 2 weeks I've just noticed, and it's like building, building. Then one day I'm just like, ugh, I'm tired. And then it lasts maybe a week or two, and then I'm back to feeling okay, and then the cycle just repeats itself. And more than the hollowness, like, hollowness and emptiness sound like the same thing, and that's exactly what it was. So there was just hollowness, emptiness in my heart. I was feeling very far away from God. I wasn't feeling like I was getting enough devotion time. I wasn't feeling like I was, like, as I talked about in my August update, I did not get a lot of devotion time in August, right? And so September was a month when I was like purposefully trying to do devotions, right? Which I did. And I talk about that in my making time video that I last uploaded. It was the last video I uploaded. Yeah, I talk about how I made time for devotion, and that was great. And I was so excited for the first few days. But then I realized that, like, even though I was having this devotion time, I wasn't truly connecting, and I was really, really struggling to connect. And I managed to connect maybe 1 or 2 days out of, like, let's say 2 weeks of that I've been doing devotion. Maybe 1, 2 days is when I was feeling very connected. Um, and that was really, really irritating to me, to be honest, because I was just like something must give, like, why am I not feeling like God is really speaking to me? Why am I not feeling as if like there are any messages coming through? I was praying about something and I really wasn't feeling anything. And it was just the kind of thing where I didn't want to do something and I still don't, but then it's just one of those things where, you have to pray about it because you also don't want to make rash decisions based on just feelings. So during that time, I was just feeling like God isn't speaking to me, God is just not listening. Like, it was like I didn't know whether I wasn't listening. And I remember writing in my journal one night, I was like, I feel so far away from God. I feel like I can't hear him, and I don't know if I've blocked God. And like, I was literally just like, I don't know if I've blocked you, and if I have, I don't know how to unblock you. Like, there was just so much of that happening, and it was so sad. And I remember just feeling so alone. And I remember one day I literally, like, it was at night and I just cried. I was journaling and I just started crying. And I remember writing down, I don't even know why I'm crying, but all I can feel is just this feeling to cry. Like, I just want to cry and let it out. And I don't know what I'm letting out. And I don't know what's happening. And I'm just feeling lonely and sad. And the next day, after having that whole crying spectacle, debacle. After crying, I had a conversation with one of my friends, and I remember just letting out everything that I was feeling. And I was just like, I'm doing this thing that I don't really want to do, and I'm just feeling off about it. Like, my heart is not feeling great. I'm just not happy. And I feel like I was expecting to feel happy by doing this thing, but I'm not feeling happy by doing this one thing. And it's like, I'm not the kind of people who get stressed from doing a lot of things. Like, of course, I do get stressed, but I thrive when I'm busy. I thrive when I have a lot to do. So that really doesn't really, like, that doesn't really bother me. Even when I'm very busy, I don't feel too bad. Like, it's just one of those things where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so busy. I'm not sleeping. I'm not, but then it doesn't bother me. I'm like, yeah, I'm busy. I'm doing stuff. Let's just move on. But this time it was like, I'm busy, but then I wasn't feeling that busyness. And I also was not feeling happy with it. So it was almost like I'm doing so many things that I'm not feeling happy about. And that was really, really frustrating me. I think, especially because the one thing that's not making me happy is the one thing that I should be excited about. And I want to do a whole other video about things you should and shouldn't feel. And I absolutely hate that thing where you feel like you should feel a certain way, but you're not feeling that way. And then you feel bad about yourself for not feeling like that. And I feel like for me in September, there was a lot of that happening. Like, I feel like I should feel this thing and I'm not feeling it. And why am I not feeling it? And it was just frustrating, because it's like expectations versus reality. But even more than that, it's a lot of pressure from other people to feel a certain way. And I'm just like, I'm really not feeling that. And I don't know how to feel it. Um, so this day that I had this conversation with my friend, I went to pray almost immediately after because I was having this other thing happening. It was like a prayer condition. So I went to pray immediately after. And I remember praying during that time and like telling God that I just want to remember how it felt to seek your heart. And that's the one thing that I remember feeling like the difference between me now or me at this time and me maybe a month before then was my eagerness to seek God's heart and just wanting to understand God's heart. That was the biggest difference. And I remember praying at that time, like, God, just help me remember how it felt to seek your heart. And since that day, my one prayer has been like, I want to remember to seek God's heart. Not how I felt when I was seeking God's heart, but just remembering to seek God's heart. Because in then when I had this prayer and I was inspired to pray like that, I remember after the prayer I thought about it and I was like, I've literally been very, very selfish. Like this entire time, I've just been thinking about what I want, what I feel like, what I want to do, what message I want to get, instead of thinking like what is in God's heart? What does God want me to learn at this time? Like what is God's heart? How does God feel? What is God trying to send to me and stuff like that? And thinking about that made me think about how in September I've felt very selfish. Like it's been a lot about what I want. And it's not a bad thing to think about what you want. Truly, it's really, really not. But I realized that my one goal going into September was a lot about what I want, what is going to make me happy, what is going to, regardless of how it affects anybody, and also regardless of like what God has to say about it. And so I noticed that there was a lot of selfishness there, and there was a lot of like, how am I feeling about it, not what does God want me to do with this situation, which is essentially what I had been doing before. It was a lot of like, what does God want me to learn from this situation? What lesson can I get? What message can I pass through? What can happen with this message? What is God trying to tell me? And that was the one great lesson that I've learned in September. Just remembering to seek God's heart has been such a big lesson, because I feel like for a minute I had forgotten that, and I was absolutely miserable when I was trying to seek what I wanted and not seeking what God wants. And I remember watching one of my favorite YouTubers. The name is Story and Chad Masters. And I remember watching one of their videos, and they actually talk about just the relationship with God and stuff like that. And it really, really inspired me and made me remember that I really, really need to seek God, and I need to stop trying to please everybody else. I need to stop only trying to please myself and to think about God, like to put God at the center of my life. And even though I was doing the devotions, the reason why I wasn't connecting is because I was always trying to get an answer. I wasn't trying to listen to God's lesson. I wasn't trying to, just see what God is trying to tell me. Because, sometimes they say that when you ask God a question, you get one of three answers: yes, no, maybe, or yes, no, wait. It's something like that. And I remember I was always looking for a yes. I was literally always looking for a yes. Like, should I do this? No. Or should I stop this? Yes. Like, that's all I was thinking about, instead of being like, what does God want me to do in this season in my life? And so even playing the piano, I mentioned that I started playing the piano and learning songs and stuff like that, and I realized that in September I really slacked on that, which was actually another thing that was making me so depressed, because I was like, I really want to do this thing, but I can't do this thing because of different reasons. But it was very frustrating that I couldn't play as much piano as I wanted to, so that was very annoying. But I remember when I started to pray seeking God's heart, I started to feel very calm. Like before, there was a lot of anxiety. I was very anxious. I was very like just jumpy. I was not settled at all. My brain was always just like moving, 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 moving so fast. And it was the most annoying thing, because I was just like, why? Like, can I just relax? And I wasn't able to. But after this, there was this sense of calm that came over me, and I can't even explain it, but I was so calm and it was so wonderful. And it just made me remember that as much as I'm trying to find my identity, I really need to find my identity in God and pray that my dreams align with God. Because as a human being, I definitely have dreams. I definitely have expectations about life. I definitely want to be somewhere at a certain time, or want to do a certain thing before I die. I'm very big at that. Like, how people say, give me a 5-year plan. I'm like, I really, really don't know what my 5-year plan is. But by the time I die, I want to be able to have traveled. I want to be able to have done this, that, and the other. And I think for me, it's just been important to try and remember that my identity lies in God, and God knows who I am. Cue the song Who You Say I Am by Hillsong. It's a really, really good song, and I have a song inspiration about that. So go listen to that video and listen to the actual song as well. It's so good. But my point is just remembering that I am who God says I am, And the only way for me to know who God says I am is if I'm constantly listening to God and not just trying to speak to Him. Because I feel like a lot of the time we're so busy trying to speak to God and trying to tell Him things that we're not open enough for Him to tell us things, And I think everybody is different and everyone's relationship with God is very, very different. Everyone does very different things to be able to connect with God. I just know that for me, I'm learning more and more what works for me best. And I realize that even in prayer, I realize that I feel better when I pray about other people, when I pray over other people than just praying for myself. Like it's so much easier, better, but even I feel more accomplished when I pray for other people, when I pray about other people. And also, I feel like when I pray about other people, it teaches me a lot about my own life and what to pray about in my own life. And so that has been nice. I think just summing up what September has been for me, it's been a month of just like re-evaluating my relationship with God, re-evaluating my walk with God, remembering why I decided to just be intentional with my faith and stuff like that has been such a big thing for me this month. Just remembering that essentially I'm trying to get to God, and having a very, very close relationship with God is what my ultimate goal is. Like, I want to be able to be walking with God, like if someone sees me, they're like, truly, this, the Lord is working in her life, and that's what I want. And I just, that whole feeling of selfishness has been so big for me in September. Like, I've actually felt quite selfish, and I'm looking forward to October being more selfless and just being more open to God's messages to me. And I remember after doing that prayer that night, even the devotions that I've been doing since then have been very, very good. I've been connecting so greatly with them. More than even connecting with the devotions, I've just been feeling more like aligned to pray, aligned to just reading God's word. I've been getting different sources, just like reading different stuff has been so big for me. And it's just been nice to feel that connected with God, and even like just journaling. My journaling has really, really changed. Like, since before and now, I can say that I feel happier. I feel more accomplished. I feel more like I'm letting God into my life, which is something that I definitely want to always do, and I always want to remember. And the reason why I do these videos is so that I have to, oh my god, so sorry, it's a fly. But like, the reason why I do these videos is because I actually go back to my videos and I watch them, and I remember how I felt then, and I remember what I've gone through, and I remember where I want to go, because that's also very important. Just where I'm headed, is something that's so important. So yeah, that has just been my September in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Turn on the notification bell so that you can get notified every single time I post a new video. And like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with everyone that you know. See you next time. Bye.